Hi folks, and welcome to the first question, which will involve auxiliaries in intersection of solids. And it's very important to get a good understanding of this, because when you get questions in the DCG paper on intersection, it is the auxiliary method that will come up. Okay, so I've gone ahead here and I've done some of the very basic setup in this question, but I'm going to do the rest step by step because it is our first question. Okay, so we've got this object being intersected by a triangular prism, and what I want to do is I just want to get finished setting up that there. So we have this point which is 22 mil down from the top on the edge, and it's going off at 20 degrees there. We'll just pick any point out here because I want to draw an in view of that triangular prism. Now we're told in the question that triangular prism is equilateral, or it's an equilateral triangle, if you look in from the in view, and has sides of 40 mil. Now we can see on the left hand side in elevation there that this object is hitting a flat surface because we are seeing an edge view of that flat surface. You know, if you have a true length line in one view, which we do down here in plan, and we look along that true length line, we'll see that line as a point, and therefore we'll see the edge, the surface as an edge view. Okay, and we can see where it's hitting there exactly. So we can finish out in plan view the left hand side now without doing any auxiliary at all. So we'll go ahead and do that. So there's the left-hand side finished out in both elevation and plan view, okay? Now, the right-hand side is going to be more trickier because it's not just hitting one edge or one surface as it is here on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, it'll be hitting 3 surfaces. Now, it's important to note a thing about doing intersection of solids, that when you have something, and it usually is a triangular prism intersecting an object, that you are able to label up that in the corresponding views. So for example, if I call that 1, 2, and 3, okay, that is based on an equilateral triangle, and it hinges out this way. So if you're looking along there, 3 would be the closest side, 1 would be on top obviously, but 2 would be in the back edge. That'd be in hidden detail. So when we come down here, okay, to the left hand side, this would be line 2, because it's on the far side, because it hinges out this way. If you're looking along that to see that there, we would have 1 on the top, straightforward enough, and then as we said, 3 would be on the near side. So it's very important that when you label that up, whatever way you label it, you're able to label it correctly then in plan view. Okay, so with that now, we're going to go ahead and we are going to set up an auxiliary view. The reason why we're going to set up an auxiliary view is we're going to look down along this object directly. And the reason we want to do that is because when we do that, we will see where this triangular prism, as we look along it, intersects the 3 surfaces that we have on the right hand side. Okay, so I'll just lightly finish out the plan view there, and now we'll go ahead and set up the auxiliary. Now you need to bring down all points of interest in this. And of course, anytime we're looking along something or doing an auxiliary, you would always put your x1, y1 at 90 degrees to the projection lines, okay? Now, the next thing, usually when we're doing one of these auxiliaries, is we set up the main body that has been penetrated first, okay? And how you do that, you can label it if you want there. So I might call it A, B, C, D, E, and F. And we'll just call this O on the very top. So it's always, the measurements are always the same 2 views back. So for example, if I want to get O, I will put down my compass on the XY line. I get that distance there. This is O up here in elevation. So I follow it down and I'm measuring off the X1, Y1. So new view, 1 view back, 2 view back, the measurements are always the same. So that is O up there. Now, the truth is actually I don't need to draw the left hand side. I only need to draw the right hand side to find out where it is hitting that. So we'll just concentrate on that. B, if I want to take that there, set it on your compass. That's B in elevation, follow it down and mark it off there. That is B. Next we get C. And label the points as you're going along. D. We get E here now. And E is along B as well, the same line. And we can draw in that lightly now at the moment. Now, as I said, we don't need to draw on the left-hand side in this one because we've already found the line of intersection from our elevation. So we'll go now and we'll set up the triangular prism. So again, we'll go maybe for line 1 first. 1 is coming down along this line. Put it down there, measure it off. That is line 1. Line 2. Set your compass. Move it over to the XY line. New view, 1 view back, 2 views back. That is point 2 there for us. And 3 then. You can get that. You could also just mark it off the XY1 line, okay? Or just come along the 40mm, because when we are looking down along it, we're seeing, we should be seeing them true lengths there. And it will be symmetrical as well. Now, if you're a tiny bit off, it would be human error, but that should be symmetrical landing on that object, okay? So, in actual fact, from the elevation, we had point 1 up here, okay? So, we could also put in these 2 lines lightly. So, we know 1 is here. So, it's going to drop directly down. We'll have 1 in plan. We'll get that first. There's point 1. Now what we really need out of this is points 2 and 3. They're hitting on those surfaces there. And what we're going to put in is we're going to put in a line here like so to help us find that. So for example, on this surface between the very top to E to D, we have point 3. How I will locate that is I will draw in this temporary line. Okay, that red line there. That red line hits the bottom of the line ED in our auxiliary. And we will bring that back up to our elevation lightly. Okay, so it's coming up along there, bringing back up that line. And there it hits in elevation. Now I can redraw that line in elevation. Now you can see that when I drew that line in auxiliary, it went through point 3. And because I have that drawn there, that will find me point 3 here as well. Okay, I knew 3 was on somewhere on this line. Here's 3 coming down along here where the 2 intercept must give you the point. That is point 3. And we drop that down. That now gets us 3 in our plan view. Now we can do the exact same thing for number 2. I can draw a line in there. It will hit here. When I bring it back up here, it will hit here. Because it's symmetrical, it's actually going to be right behind point 3, okay? Because the left and the right, you can see it there if you were to split it. It's the same distance from left to right, 3 and 2. And the object is symmetrical. So 2 will actually be behind that point there. And that will give us point 2 over here. Okay. Now, you might think we're finished there, but we're not. There's a couple of other points of interest because the line of intersection, as you can see, if we start at 1, it's on this surface here. It turns a corner here. Okay. I'll call that 4. It turns the corner at 4, goes down to 2. Then it comes over here. It's going back onto this surface now. So it's turning the corner there at 5. It's coming over to here. I call that 6. It's coming off that surface, going to 3. And before it gets back up to 1, it turns from this surface onto this surface at point 7. Now I know it's not labelled up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But if you follow it now, we find these points. The line of intersection will go in both views from 1 to 4 to 2 to 5 to 6 to 3 to 7 to 1, back up around. Okay, so let us bring up those points also. Now if we we're shooting down all our lines of projection, we're setting up that auxiliary for finding points. They must come back up on lines parallel to those as well. So that there now will give us points 7 and 4 on the edge there, coming up. And we'll also get along here, we will get points 5 and 6. Okay, and now that we have those in elevation, we will drop them now down into our plan view. So drop down these guys. And remember, 6 was, look at the distance from 6. So when I move that over there, that means this guy is 6, he's the further one away. 5 is this distance. So that's it there, it's on that line there. And the same then for 7 and 4. 7 was the further one away, 4 was the closer one to the X1Y line, and 2 views back it'll be the same. So that'll get you these 2 points here. Sorry, no, I dropped them on the wrong line. That will get you these 2 points here. And that will be 4, and that will be 7 there. And that's all the points. And now all we have to do is to follow that. I often seen people sometimes writing it down before, just so they're right. It's going to go from 1 to 4, to 2, to 5, to 6, to 3, back to 7, and all the way back up to 1 again. You may not need to do that, but I've seen it, and it helps some people with the visualization, okay? So we'll finish this out now. So I might just drop down the end first of all. And I know that it is going to run in as far as 3 there. It's going to run in as far as 2 up here. It is going to go as far as 1 there. Heavy end line here. And now I follow this sequence in here. So 1 to 4. And as I'm looking down on that, I'll be able to see all of that, okay? It's going to go from 1 to 4, 4 to 2. Now, 2 to 5 is going to go on the underside. I won't be able to see that, so it'll be in hidden detail. It's going to go from 5 to 6, again in hidden detail. 6 to 3 in hidden detail. And now at this stage, it comes back up on the top surface, and I can go back up to 1. And now I can finish out the rest of this heavy. There's also going to be a hidden detail line here, okay, because you won't be able to see that under the object. And we can finish out the top. Now there's a bit of hidden detail coming up. This piece is hidden detail from there to there. And then we'll be able to see that on the top. Hidden detail there, heavy on the top. What I'm going to do in a few minutes, I'm going to color it in. I advise you to do the same for visualization. And now we can finish in this as well, okay? So it's going to come in heavy as far as 3. In elevation now, as you look in here, you will be able to see this, that 3 goes to 7. And then it goes up to 1 there, like so. We can finish out that now. Now you won't see any of the hidden detail there, because that is, you know, it's symmetrical. So the hidden detail is right behind these lines here, so you won't see any of it. And that is how you would solve a question, find the line of intersection with the auxiliary method. So I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to go ahead and color it. And I advise you to do the same, because I do find it very useful for the visualization purposes of seeing how these objects intersect with one another. So that's that finished, folks. I hope you found that useful. You may, as I said, like to use this method of writing down the sequencing for joining up the line of intersection. I used to find it useful myself when I was your age. So hope you found that useful, folks. More videos to come. Take care and stay safe.